Hi, Floss Tube. It's 51 degrees here in northern Utah. Cloudy, very cloudy, and rainy. It's been raining off and on, so we'll see what that does. Every day you wait for a different change in Utah. Tomorrow might be totally sunny, and yesterday it was in the 70s, so we never know what it's going to do back and forth. Um, I'm Colette, the Highway Stitcher, and I'm bringing you my stitching here from at home for the time being. And I'm going to give you an update on what I did with my rotation this week. Before I do that, I have to make a comment on something. I have been watching on Thursdays. There's a station called TCN, which is it's not TCM. It's not Turner Classic Movies. It's just a station that comes in just with our basic local cable, just the cheapest local cable, and it's a like a classic movie station. And on Thursdays they do film noir. I think that's how you say it. And just to let you know, actually, what film noir is the definition is a black. It's French for black, and it's a type of fiction or film that has tough characters and is cynical, bleak, and pessimistic in nature. And an example of noir is, of course, Citizen Kane. That's probably the most classic one. But I was watching two today as I was trying to stitch on Pink Sparrow that it got to the point where I just said, forget it. I can't even stitch on this. It was so suspenseful and so well done. And I'm sure that there are noir films out there that are not well done, but I have been seeing some that have been excellent. So I could just give you just a little idea of a couple of the ones I saw today. And just amazing, amazing movies. And not really famous people in them. Of course, at the age I am, I'm sure some of the younger people wouldn't even know these actors anyway, but they weren't even really known to me that well. And yet, an excellent job in these movies. One was called Gun Crazy, and actually, it's the basis for Bonnie and Clyde, the 1967 movie, which is much more famous. But I think it was better done than Bonnie and Clyde. I was just amazed by the way the filming was done on this movie. And when I read up on it, they said that it was the first time that they had ever filmed movies like this. I mean, they were filming, the camera was inside the car as the girl and the guy were driving to do a bank robbery. The filming was close-ups and the looks of faces, and the dialogue was very good and a very suspenseful story and well done. If you have a chance to ever see the movie Gun Crazy, see it. Those 40s and 50s movies may seem a little dated in parts, but the suspense and the terror and the things that go into them isn't outdated. It is just still grips you. And the other one I saw was Stranger on a Train, and it is actually a not as well known Alfred Hitchcock film noir. And it was very well done too. Most people know the other famous Hitchcock movies, the colored ones and everything, but this one was a black and white noir movie. And the two protagonists in it were just well done, and just such a suspenseful movie. And I just thought, what in the heck is going to happen with this? Because it's basic story of a guy a crazy guy who meets a famous tennis player on a train. I won't say the whole story, but they end up exchanging the idea that they're going to knock off or murder each other's persons in their family that they don't want to have anything to do with anymore. So that just gives you an idea of what the movie starts out as, and it was so well done. Very scary, very suspenseful, and you didn't even really know what was going to happen even until the very end. So I would suggest, if you're interested, look up those two movies, see if you can get them. I'm not sure if Netflix or Prime, Amazon Prime or anything does that, or if you have a movie channel that does those kind of movies. But wonderful, just well done. So of course I did not get as much stitching on Pink Sparrow as I wanted to get done, because I finally had to put it down because I couldn't stitch anymore. Just had to sit there and watch the movie. So I'd be happy to tell you more about different noir movies. I know quite a few of them, and I'm just really addicted to that form of movie film. If you're interested, Just let me know down below, or I don't have to continue doing it. That's fine too. Let me know what you think. So anyway, on to stitching, which is what we're here for. So I'm going to give you an update on what I stitched. I'm going to try to keep this to fairly fast, and we'll go through these pieces and get done so you can go watch another Floss Tube, since there's so many out there. My weekly project for my first 40 minutes, instead of 30 minutes, I'm doing 40 minutes a day, is an Easter piece. And this is Lost No More. It's Dimensions Gold Kit. And this is where I'm at right now. Last week, I was actually just barely starting down the other side of his red cloak. So I was probably right about here. So I've done quite a bit on him this week. And so I finished up all of this and then also extended down the dark there so that I could fill in around it. It's easier for me to do like the darkest colors on a full coverage like this, especially since I don't have like a pattern keeper or something where I can, X off the stuff is easy. It's easier for me to do like a real bold type of color and then fill it in around, because I don't tend to make less mistakes that way. So anyway, here's Jesus, and here's my progress on him for this week. We are doing a hashtag Easter 40 focus, stitch along, Brenda, Handwork Maniac, and myself, and you're welcome to join in. And this will continue as my rotation piece this coming week, as well as through the end of April. Yes, end of April. Okay. I'm going to continue on from where I left off. I'm not going Monday through Sunday this time. I don't have these. I have these in order of when I started up, when I put them down on my table. So I'm just going to pick them up as goes and then, show them to you. This one here, first of all, I'll show you online. I lost the picture somehow, and I'm not sure what happened to it, and I've looked all around for it and haven't been able to find it. So I will show you here what it's supposed to look like. And actually, this is probably a little better picture anyway. It's more close up. It's a Heaven and Earth design, and it's called Story Keep Maleficent. Why they call them Story Keep is kind of like they're a glorified big bookmark. That's how it will look. And the area that I got done this week is, as you can see, I'm doing diagonals, and I finished half of this diagonal and filling in of the diagonal before that. So this is more. I got probably about 510 stitches in this, which I'm pretty happy with. And if you look at that, I'll show you the picture again. This shows you kind of, I'm starting at the left-hand corner, and it has a lot of shades of blue in it. Probably I'll have to do about another diagonal or two, and then I will hit Maleficent. So to show you where that's at, or where I probably am, is this shading right about there. So, oops, that made her smaller. But anyway, kind of in that diagonal right there. So I'm guessing a couple more diagonals and I'll get down there. Been enjoying Pattern Keeper and working on this a lot. So, and that will continue in my rotation next week. Another project that I worked on, my Tuesday project, is Emerald City by Al Forrest Designs. This was a sal from last year. This time I did, let's see here. My goodness, it's windy out there. I guess we are really going to get some more bad weather. The wind is just blowing. This time I got about 250 stitches done and worked on a little scarecrow there, which you can see. So I was going to fill in Glinda's 1/1, but then I got involved in some movie or TV show and I thought, I just want something mindless. So I moved over to the scarecrow and worked on him. So there he is. Cute little guy. This is being stitched on 32 count, hand dyed by Rolanda Fabrics, and she is a European fabric dyer. I'll try to leave the information down below in the notes on how you can get a hold of her. She has some really pretty hand dyeds, a lot of vibrance to them, a lot of splashing, and they're not the subtle kind, but they are very pretty if you want something that really shows things well. My idea for the next on this, if you can see right there, our little scarecrow guy. I'm going to do the scarecrow next, that little motif, and hopefully the gold steps. So, and filling in Glinda. It'd be nice if I could finish up the whole rest of that and move on. I've realized I'm not the fastest stitcher in the world. I try to stitch, but I'm not super fast. So I am using that as kind of a on the low ball guidelines. So I'm hoping that's what I end up doing. If everything goes great and I have lots of time and I'm fast, then the whole rest of that second part will be done. But I'm thinking probably the crow and the crow himself and the those gold bricks and the little motif and Glinda's skin tones on 1/1 will probably be what I'll get done. And that's what I'm going to shoot for anyway. Okay, my Monday pattern. So I'm kind of going backwards. I went to Wednesday, Tuesday, now I'm on to Monday, is Plantation Sampler by Cadbury Designs. I did pretty good amount of stitching on this week. Last week I mentioned that the bigger tree there with the little birds on it was my goal. That and hopefully and finishing up the picket fence and finishing the flower border. Got pretty close to my goal. I did the bigger tree, the picket fence, and one of the flowers there, but I do have to continue the vine for that flower and a couple more little leaves off to the side to be at the bottom of the pattern. So that was a good amount of progress for this one. This is being stitched on 32 count pecan butter, Lakeside linen. And that's a more representation of the beautiful color it is. And it's being stitched with a shepherd's bush conversion of colors, over dyed threads. And I did forget to mention, the fabric on Wizard of Oz. The flosses are just DMC, the called for DMC flosses. So, okay, my next rotation, as I was moving from Monday backwards to Sunday, is I picked up Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread, and started working on that last week. I finished up almost, I still need the outer border, but finished up most of that little motif there. Still waiting for the some of the floss that I need. And also there's a couple little snowflakes there too. This is being stitched on 40 count Lakeside Linen Tundra. A pretty blue-gray, gray-blue, whatever, subtle shading on it. That's a nice piece. I love this piece. And it is being stitched with the, oh my goodness, I think I'm using the over dyed threads that come with what Brenda wanted to do. So, but let me check and make sure. Plantation Sampler. No, that's not it. Okay, I need Floss No More. I'm trying to make this one go fast and I'm ending up covering it up. Okay, I am using the called for over dyed threads. So the only thing I did substitute was the fabric. So that's my Sunday rotation piece. Saturday, going backwards again. Can't show you the picture of this, but it's a mystery cell by Fox and Rabbit Designs and Linen and Threads mystery cell called Family and Friends. I did pretty well this week on that. I had actually finished the first month, January, and I had just barely started here the second month. So I actually did this whole motif here. I mean, this whole part of this Quaker block, and that motif and that motif. I guess they're all motifs. So I got those 3 done totally. So next time when I work on it, my plan is to get the little vase done with the flower and the initials. So that's my plan for this one, so I can move on to March. If I get more done and I have more time, then that's great too. And this is being stitched on a 32 count Fox and Rabbit fabric, dyed. It's dyed fabric that they dyed themselves. It's called Lyrebird Dell. A real pretty dark blue-green. And the flosses are Cottage Garden, Australian threads. Cottage Garden, oh my goodness. Cottage Garden, I'm going to have to look it up. Probably because I'm just trying to rush through this is the reason why I have to look up things more. And this might be my first one. Larkspur. That is Cottage Garden Larkspur. So that is what I got done on that one. Going backwards again, we moved from Saturday to Friday, and I was working on Mirabilia Garden Prelude. This is being stitched on 32 count Demoiselle, but with all the called for DMC metallics beads. That's all called for. So I'll close this up a little bit so you can see a little bit easier. It's a wider piece than a narrow piece. So anyway, what I got done on her is, as you can see, some more of her hair, some of the back stitch, not all of it, just a little, and some of the bows that are in her hair and partial part of her hair down here. I have to order one of those new DMC colors and get it sent because it fills in part of the rest of this and this. And I forgot when I was down here working on this one weeks ago that I needed to order it, but I was out of town then and I thought, oh, I'll just wait till I get home. And then I forgot about it until I started working on her hair bow, her hair ribbons up here, and I went, oops, I gotta order that. So I'm just gonna work around it, do what I can. I'll fill in, my goal for this is to fill in the rest of her hair, the rest of the ribbons, hair dressings that I have. Hoping I'm going to order for 1, 2, 3 stitch because I'm hoping, because of it being close and it being DMC, I should get it right away so I can finish it. So that's my plan for Garden Prelude, which I think is easily attainable. So maybe I can even move on to part of her dress. And then, of course, what I was working on today before I got all involved in the noir movies is Pink Sparrow Sampler. And this is how what I got done today. Which is basically what I showed you last week is I had it down to the birds straight across. So what I accomplished today were the two borders on each side down a little bit more. So the border there on the left and the border on the right. Not a whole lot, but there's some progress. And even though it was easy to do, you know, it's an easy stitch, it was hard because I kept looking up at the movie. So I had to keep counting. But she is coming along, really pretty. This is being stitched on 28 count. Picture this plus fog. And is being stitched with the called for overdyed flosses. And Pink Sparrow is by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. Oh, my thought for this, I didn't tell you my plans for this one. My plan is hopefully to finish that border up and that it meets good all around the bottom and meets perfectly, which is what we all pray for. Then I'm going to move up. If it meets perfectly and I still have any time left, then I will move on to, you know, maybe that's lower. Well, I did the lowercase ABCs. I think I'll move on to possibly one of the little motifs or whatever. But I'm guessing saying that I'm going to do the bottom border and finishing that up is probably more doable. So that is my progress for this week. As always, I forgot my gratitude book, so I will go get that right now. Forgot to show you my knitting. I've been doing some knitting too. This is just going to be a baby blanket. I make baby blankets just in case friends of mine have new grandkids or whatever else. And I was just doing one of these simple, this is like one of those blocks, the Pro blocks, the knit blocks, the squares. So I've been working on that. So it's been fun. And it's just a simple, easy 5 purl, 5 knit, and when you change back to the other side, 5 knit, 5 purl. So, well, you do actually 5 rows of like purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and then after 5 rows, then you change knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then it gives you like the changing of the blocks. So, real cute, easy pattern. So I've been working on that. So to end this up, I'm just opening it up where it goes. Okay. This says, be grateful for the home you have, knowing that at this moment that all you have is all you need. And it shows like vegetables and things within a person's backyard. Be thankful for the home you have, knowing that at this moment all you have is all you need. So remember that attitude of gratitude, and I'll see you next Thursday with another update on my rotation. So have fun, guys. Happy stitching. Bye.